What is up, everybody? How's everyone doing in the chat? And of course, first question of the night, what are you drinking? I am drinking KFC Pepsi Max because I had to bring dinner back home, and that is why I've only literally just sat down in time for this stream. So, hope all of you guys are doing well. Hope you all were watching the Champions League. I just came from... Unfortunately, I came from work, so I didn't see any of it, which is really annoying. I'm just trying to move my microphone into the right place. And, yeah, exactly, Siraj. What a Champions League night, especially if you're a Tottenham Hotspurs fan. So, who we got in the chat? We've got Siraj, of course. We've got Thomas McCarthy. We've got Jack Morgan. Hi, Jack. How you doing? Another Hoops is back. Rad Robbie Roller is back again. AM Saturday. The crew is here today. We're already up to 19 people in the stream as well. Daz Dark is back. Tiger Raid just brought Kane in before price rise. I'm happy I didn't take him out. I said I'm not going to take him out until I know a bit more. If it's only one game week, I'm keeping Kane. Hopefully, Kane will stay in my team. Or will not stay in my team. He'll start over the weekend. We've got Hemant Kumar in the chat. I don't think I've seen your name before. Welcome to the chat. Barunji Philemon also in the chat. We got Mister in the chat. We got I put a bet on Madrid to win Barunji, so I'm not very happy either. Alex Wright is also in the chat. Wow, we got loads of people. I'm struggling to catch up. Dom Stimpfig. We got Rohan Sharma. What's up, Rohan? How you doing? We got Daz Dark. Oh, I've already said Daz Dark and Tiger Rage. We've got Mats B. Peterson from Norway in here as well. We've got Fan Fantasy from Poland. We're going international now, guys. We're going international. And we've got Daniel Ringsell in the chat. What are you doing? What's up, Daniel? Thank you, Thomas McCarthy, for reminding everyone to please like and share. And if you guys don't know, we tell everyone, or we tell each other what we're drinking while watching the stream. I've got a beer down there, but at the moment I'm on the Pepsi. And we will start the show. I wasn't ready for this many people to jump in so quickly. Usually it takes a little bit of time. So as usual, on this stream, we start off the stream by looking at the comments that have been posted since the last stream, which was 2 days ago. So if we start down here, we've got Jamal Rice, why no Liverpool defenders? Approved better saying, I hope you're joking. And Michelle Wong, they do not have good fixtures, but the defence isn't that good. They do have good fixtures, but defence isn't that good. I'd suggest bringing in Marino or Gomez, but only play them in home games as they only conceded 1 goal at home. That's a good point if that's true, Michelle Wong. So thank you for that comment. Ajoy Ramanan, what do I do with Silva? Depends which Silva. If that's David Silva, I'd keep him because at least he seems to be guaranteed starts. If that's Bernardo Silva, I would transfer him out because he doesn't seem to be a first team player, at least at the moment. We got Siraj Karanja with a comment on my football recap episode. They shouldn't have sacked Koeman. He is a good manager. It's just Everton had a hell of a fixture to start the season, a difficult Europa League group. And apart from big guns, they've just lost to Burnley and drew with Brighton. I think they lost to Leicester as well. But other than that, you're right. Give managers more time. What's wrong with today's football? I agree. I really don't think they should have got rid of Koeman so quickly. Give him a couple of games into an easier run of fixtures and see what he can do. Got Aaron Silva. I'm just wondering, what team do you support? Please don't say Arsenal. I actually support AFC Wimbledon, so not even in the Premier League, which gives me a decent insight on the Premier League because I'm interested in most of the teams instead of being really interested in one. I do follow West Ham because my wife supports them, but other than that, it's AFC Wimbledon all the way for me. We've got Dara Smith. J&O, why did you get charged for violent conduct? With a, is that a goblin-y grin face? Great video, J&O. This series is good to watch. If you didn't know, some people say I look like Troy Deeney, like I'm his long-lost cousin. So that's what Dara Smith is getting at there. Jamie Dunn, as if Ancelotti would take the Everton job. That, basically in the recap, there was some news that Ancelotti was being considered for the role. I personally don't think Ancelotti would take it, but Everton do have a bit of money and history and are relatively big club. And I mean, Newcastle got Rafa Benitez, so anything's possible. But it looks like the Burnley manager might be going to Everton at the moment. That seems the most likely to happen. And we've got Craig Manuel still laughing at me calling Nick Pope Scott. I almost started this stream just saying Nick Pope over and over again so I wouldn't mess it up. He says he can't always catch the streams because of time difference, because he's from South Africa. See, going international. We'll always catch the video posts after you put them up. Keep up the great videos, so thank you very much for that, and we'll give that a little thumbs up. So, I'm hoping the chat isn't running away with things at the moment, because I like to start off with some other stuff before we get into the chat for the people that are watching the recap. And if we go over the Champions League games, we had Roma versus Chelsea. We'll start with yesterday. Roma versus Chelsea. Roma won 3-0, which isn't great for anyone with Chelsea prospects. Chelsea had 14 shots, 6 on target. One more shot, same on target as Roma, more possession. But they obviously weren't as clinical. And if we look at the lineups, the lineup is pretty standard by the looks of things. Although it looks like... This is a new page for me, by the way. So if I'm messing this up, it's because I'm not used to how they do things on here. It looks like Hazard did play. Batshuayi was swapped out for Morata. So yeah, it's Hazard and Morata, Pedro, Alonso, Bakayoko, Drinkwater, Fabregas, Azpilicueta. Drinkwater came on for Fabregas. So that's a pretty standard team. Willian was there. So Willian, Pedro, Hazard, and Morata. Was Willian playing as a wing-back, possibly? No, you wouldn't have thought so. Willian came on for Gary Cahill when the... See, I'm messing this up already. Willian came on, a more attacking option for Gary Cahill. So the lineup is looking pretty set in stone at Chelsea, which is good, because it means it's easier to pick Chelsea options. At the moment, I'll be looking at Hazard. Morata I did like a while back, but not so sure about anymore. Fabregas is looking like it could be a decent option if he keeps playing. But of course, when Kante comes back, that might stop. And Azpilicueta is my favourite option in the defence. We got the Man United game, of course. 2-0 win for Man United. Man United didn't dominate massively, but they clearly were more clinical. And the lineups... If this guy ever comes to the Premier League, Miles Sivlar, maybe don't bring him in because he seems to make quite a few mistakes against Man United. We have, again, a lineup. Martial coming off for Rashford. Mkhitaryan coming on for Jesse Lingard. Herrera coming on for Mata. But players like Lukaku seem to be concrete in there. Matic. We've got a new defender there in Scott McTominay. Not heard of him before. Smalling and Bailly. Jones looks like he was rested, because I don't see Jones anywhere in there. Not even on the bench. So I'm not sure if that means there's an issue with Jones at the moment. So not concrete. But again, they were playing Benfica. Maybe they felt confident. So starting lineup isn't set in stone at Man United. But what you've all been waiting for, let's have a look at Tottenham versus Real Madrid. Who actually scored for Tottenham? We had Dele Alli scoring 2 and Christian Eriksen scoring 1. With Dele Alli now outperforming Christian Eriksen in the game, which is nice to see. What I like by this is the stats and the possession. Real Madrid dominated, but looks like potentially, and I've not seen the game, so in the chat if you have seen the game you can maybe shed some more light on it for me. But it looks like the counter-attack was strong with Tottenham Hotspurs. Lineups, Alderweireld, as I think was already said in the chat, had to come off with an injury. Hugo Lloris, Davinson Sanchez, Vertonghen, Trippier, Eriksen, Dyer, Winks came off for Dembele, Ben Davies started, Dele Alli started. So I'm a bit worried that that means Ben Davies may be on the bench this weekend for Palace, because that would be a smaller game, of course. But I'm gambling on Ben Davies actually playing. And Harry Kane, of course, came off for Fernando Llorente. Don't know what time he came off, but that's a good sign that he was rested. So hopefully Harry Kane will start over the weekend as well, which will be great news for me. And then Man City, I believe, was the other game. And Liverpool. Man City beat Napoli 4-2. And again, possession was quite similar. Shots, Man City had more shots in total, but shots on target, Napoli had more. We got Nicolas Otamendi scoring, which is great for us Otamendi owners. Got Sergio Aguero scoring and Sterling scoring as well. So if you have a look at the lineups, Danilo started, which is interesting. Fabian Delph started, not too interested in that. Raheem Sterling started, which makes me worried that he might not start. So if Sterling started, De Bruyne started. David Silva started. No, Gundogan started, but David Silva came on, which isn't great because that means David Silva isn't nailed on anymore. Leroy Sané came off for Gabriel Jesus. Aguero came off for Bernardo Silva. So defensively, Otamendi, Stones look pretty concrete in there, but otherwise, De Bruyne's the only one that started out of the ones that we're hoping would always be selected in the side and not a rotation risk. But then again, Kevin De Bruyne will probably be rotated this weekend, which wouldn't... Actually, I don't see that because I think Kevin De Bruyne is pivotal to how they play. So if you can afford Kevin De Bruyne, he looks like the only nailed-on option in that Man City attack. And then we have Liverpool as well. Mohamed Salah, Emre Can and Daniel Sturridge scoring. Mohamed Salah, someone I'm considering captaining over the weekend. I think Liverpool have a decent fixture, if memory serves me correctly. And then Daniel Sturridge is someone I'm thinking of bringing in just because of Liverpool's fixtures. And Liverpool dominated this game by the looks of it. And we had pretty standard lineup. Sturridge came on for Salah by the looks of it, so Sturridge might not be worth the risk. Firmino came off. Mohamed Salah came off. So I think Mohamed Salah and Firmino are the ones to look at in the Liverpool side. But again, who knows what could happen. The Fantasy Premier League gods have not been kind to people so far this season. Wow, up to 37 people watching. We're doing well tonight. So, enough about the Champions League coverage and about the comments. Let's scroll my way all the way back up to the chat and start answering your questions. And I just spilt Coke on myself, which is fantastic. Okay, so first question comes in from, I think it's Alex Wright, will be the first question of the night. As an Alderweireld owner, should I replace him? Came off injured tonight. I don't know anything about the injury yet. If it's a serious injury, then yes, you do need to take him off. If it's not a serious injury, potentially he might play this weekend. So I would definitely keep your eyes peeled on the news and headlines and the press conference from Pochettino and see if Alderweireld is a long-term injury or if it was just something they had to take him off for that game. Next question is, wow, there's a lot of people saying hello, which is always nice to see. Learn how to speak, JNO. While prediction time, who do you expect Pep starts versus Arsenal? Or maybe better, who gets benched? Thinking of doing David Silva to Sane. Now, if we go back to what we looked at, if we go to the Man City game, my guess would be, the way he's rotating, that David Silva will start and Jesus will start. Purely because they came on off of the bench. Leroy Sané started and then came off, whereas Raheem Sterling played the whole game. So I'd say Sané will start again, and then Sterling may come on again. And I think potentially Aguero could start and then Jesus comes on again. But Jesus started beforehand. But it's a big game, so my money would be on Aguero starting and Jesus on the bench. Sané starting and Sterling on the bench. Silva and De Bruyne starting would be my guess for the next fixture. Because if I'm correct, the next fixture is a big one. The next fixture for Man City is Arsenal. Well, of course it's Arsenal. I read the question. See, this is what happens when I start a stream pretty much straight from coming home from work. I'm not prepared as I usually would, because I usually have about half an hour to prepare before I go live, and I didn't have it today. So that is my predictions for who will be starting and who will be on the bench. Which Spurs defender to bring in for game week 11? That's from Sid Sir 69. I personally don't like any of the Spurs defenders at the moment because I don't see any of the really good options, which are the wing backs, being nailed on. And whilst Alderweireld had a season at Spurs where he did get a lot of chances and scored a lot, I personally don't feel like that's happening anymore. So I may go with no Spurs defender. I've got Ben Davies because he can do really well, and so can Trippier. If they start, they seem to really do well every now and again, but they don't seem nailed on. So if I was going to suggest anyone, it would be Davies and Trippier, but they are rotation risks. We got Rad Robbie Roller. Even as an Arsenal fan, happy to see Spurs and City win tonight. English teams are really doing well now, aren't they, in the Champions League, which is great. Daniel Ringsell just telling me that my friends are saying hello. Hello, guys. I might be on later if you guys are still on. That's on Xbox One on FIFA. Another Hoops. Every single one of my normal fantasy football players did well tonight. Otamendi, Salah, Trippier, Eriksen, Aguero and Kane all did decent. Where were they last weekend? That's the problem. I think sometimes they're saving themselves for the Champions League. Will Kane's price go up tonight? That completely depends on how many people bring him back in. It's potential. My guess would be no, without having some sort of stats to go off of. But I mean, I think it would be wise if you want Kane to bring him in tonight just to be safe. We got Tiger Rage with his team. We got Elliot, Otamendi, Jones, Ward, David Silva, Eriksen, Richarlison, Salah, Morata, Kane, Abraham, Fabianski, Maguire, Loftus-Cheek and Bemba. I would be very happy with that side. I think Mbemba's the one you've got to look at, but I'd be very happy with that side. If that was my side, I'd be a lot happier than I am right now. David Knight wanted Aguero to break the record against Arsenal. I think he would have definitely started if he hadn't broken the record yet. So yeah, I think it's bad that he broke the record tonight. AM Saturday answering some questions. Thank you very much, my man. Thomas McCarthy on the tee. I'm thinking Forster and Sane for Hazard and Pope this week with my 2 free transfers. What do you think? Do you need to change Nick Pope? I think Nick Pope's on fire at the moment, and Burnley do get clean sheets. So I don't necessarily see that you have to change Pope, which will give you more money to spend elsewhere. Sane for Hazard. I like it if Sane's guaranteed starts, because I just think you need that Man City coverage. Man City is scoring lots of goals, so their attacking players are going to score lots of goals. Real DMC, I have Jones, Asby and Morata. Do I bench Morata and hope for a draw? My gut says no, but my brain says yes. I just feel like eventually Man United will be involved in a big tie that isn't just 0-0 or 1-1 or 1-0. But the way Man United games have gone against the big sides, that seems like a clever thing to do. But I know if I say that, Morata will go and score a ridiculous amount or something. So yeah, that's a difficult one. You're either going to get it right and be very happy, or get it wrong and be very upset. Tiger Rage, I only have 1 attacking City asset. Do I need 2? It's almost looking at that point now where you do need 2 City assets just to cover yourself. If you have 2 of them, the likelihood of one of them getting points is probably pretty high. So I'd say it's getting to the point now where 2 City attacking assets and 1 defender could be the way to go if they can keep this form up. Chaos is in the chat. How are you doing, my man? Got Mr. Ames. Mr. makes a good point. Silva seems nailed on, but Sane is the more exciting. Potentially, just go with Sane and then take the times when he doesn't start. It might be worth it if he keeps scoring the way he's scoring. We've got Rohan Sharma. What to do with Aguero? Captain last week. How regularly will he start, or should I transfer him out? That's a risk you take. I personally think against Arsenal he'll start Aguero. That's my guess though. It's going to be really difficult, Rohan, which is why I'm kind of very high up on Kane, because without Kane Spurs don't have a really good attacking option, whereas Man City have 2 good attacking options and sometimes play 2 up front but sometimes only play 1. So that's the issue with Man City. The whole issue with Man City is making sure you pick a player that's going to play. So it's very hit and miss right now with Man City, but because they're doing so well attacking wise, you kind of need to try and guess which one's going to start. I would have, if Man City weren't scoring loads more than Man United or loads more than Spurs, I wouldn't even be looking at City options, but because they're just outperforming all the other teams by so much goal wise, you have to try and get in on that as a Fantasy Premier League manager. AM Saturday thinks dropping Morata is a bad idea. High chance Chelsea will bang in some goals. Jerome Kanhar. For the next few weeks, which striker pair would be best? Kane Lukaku, Kane Aguero, or Aguero Lukaku? I would say Kane Aguero. I'm not high on Lukaku. I think he's a very patchy player as far as his form goes. I think Kane and Aguero are just 1, better, and 2, I believe that those 2 teams are going to score more than Man United score. Now, we could see free-flowing Man United when their fixture list gets better, but I personally am high on Kane, and I think Man City are just outscoring Man United. Siraj agrees with me. Thank you very much. I'm going to go out on a limb because there's a lot of it in the chat. I personally think Sane could be worth it. Yeah, sorry. Lost my train of thought. I think Sane could be worth it no matter the rotation. If he keeps performing like he's performing, he could be the player this season that at his price bracket completely outperforms his price. So I'm going out on a limb here. I'm talking myself into bringing in Sane. You watch it go horribly wrong though. I would say yes to Lukaku out for Aguero personally. Another Hoops has heard Davis has picked up a knock, which is a bit worrying for me. I hope it's not. But then he could get rested because it's only Palace, I believe, that they're playing. And if it's Palace, that's potentially a game that they will rest Ben Davies for, which wouldn't be ideal for me. Oh, my chat has skipped. Siraj saying Real Madrid were rubbish. I'm just trying to keep this monetization friendly. Tottenham just need that, some gaps in defence. That's the thing, Spurs defence is pretty strong, which is good, which is why Ben Davies and Trippier can get massive point totals, because they get the clean sheet and then some assists. Awesome goals as well. By the way, a quick update. I completely forgot to say this at the beginning. The YouTube channel I made a video on. If you go and look, you may see that the Premier League have actually taken action now on that website. So I went through the channels of contacting them. Fortunately, I know someone that works for them. Managed to get his email, and it looks like that issue may be sorted. Which may mean there's some hate in this chat at some point, because there was hate a couple of days ago. Sorry, just getting the beer. Finish the Pepsi, moving on to the beer. Alright, Michael, stop telling Daniel to say hello. Prakash Rout says, should I replace Lacazette? Now, personally, I think Lacazette isn't going to be as good an option as some of the other players in the league at the moment. So basically, the way I see it is with Sanchez, Özil, Ramsey, the goals are shared, and why not just get Ramsey because he's the cheapest, and it looks like he could be getting in on the goals as well. So I feel like Kane is a necessity almost, and then a Man City attacking player is a necessity, and then if you're not going with a Man City striker, then potentially you could look at Lacazette, but there's players like Morata as well, Lukaku. So I don't think Lacazette is a necessary player to have, and I feel like you could maybe get similar points totals from someone else in the Arsenal side. But the thing is, just before I move on to the next question, Lacazette's conversion rate is very, very good. A lot better than some of the strikers that I've been mentioning. So it could just be a matter of time until he really settles in and starts doing really well. But right now, Lacazette isn't someone I'm considering to bring in. AM Saturday says no return date for Alderweireld, so if you need to transfer him out, I'd suggest doing that tonight. Daz Dark can't watch all of it tonight. That's fine, mate. I understand. People have lives. People have stuff to do. So it's all good, my friend. It's all good. Alright, my antivirus is picking something up, so sorry if I got a bit distracted then. Mr. Thank you for your answer. No problem, mate. That's what I'm here to do, to help people out. AM Saturday on the same wavelength as me as well. Get rid of Laka. Transfers in of Kane has gone mad since full time. Looks like he'll rise tomorrow. I think I'm glad I never got rid of him then, because it sounded like it wouldn't be a long-term thing, a long-term injury, but a lot of people were a bit perturbed by the fact that, look at me using perturbed, the fact that I kept him in my side and just benched him for the game week. Potentially I could have used points from anyone, to be honest, last game week, but I was thinking long term and thinking I want Harry Kane in my side. Rad Robbie Roller, I think City will go to a back five when Company comes back. I don't know, they're playing so well with the formation they're playing at. Will they go to a back five? It's a potential. Then possibly you're looking at De Bruyne as the most nailed on, to be fair. But I personally think Sane is like Pep Guardiola's chosen one. And the only reason I stopped thinking that was because he wasn't starting games this season. But now he is. But who knows? Pep Guardiola's always messing up fantasy Premier League managers. I think he came to the Premiership to ruin our games as far as fantasy Premier League managers. That was his goal. Crimea Milkshake, which is Daniel Ringsell, has a question. Who's your all-time favourite Barclays Premier League player? Not an FPL question, but I'm quite happy to answer other questions as well on the stream. My personal favourite player ever, and without naming a Wimbledon player when we were actually Wimbledon, and then if I was naming a Wimbledon player, it would probably be Vinnie Jones, just because some of the challenges he got away with without getting a card were absolutely ridiculous. And Andy Clark, really random name from Wimbledon, he just run for days. He wasn't the best player, but you knew he'd never give up on you, so I like them. But my all-time favourite player is a toss-up between Dennis Bergkamp and Thierry Henry from that Arsenal side that were so good. I did particularly like that side and how they played football. Current favourite Barclays Premier League player? I mean, right now the City players are really good, but I'll probably have to give it to Harry Kane. Gareth Bale was one of my favourites when he was in the Premier League, but I'd probably give it to Harry Kane right now, just for his consistency, the fact he's English, and he's just doing so well for a player his age. Okay, so Henmanth Kumar, a good midfielder for 4.5 million. I have Sterling and want a safe option for the bench. I'd say Ruben Loftus-Cheek is the one that stands out to me the most at the moment as far as those players are concerned. If we go to midfielders though, Is there anyone else that jumps out at me? So Sermon has quietly been getting points, 34. Carroll has quietly been getting points. He's in my side. I like, what's his first name? Dale Stevens. He seems like a decent player. I mean, Delph might not be a bad shout if he keeps playing at wing-back for a little bit. But I do really like Loftus-Cheek. He seems to be quite attacking. Chalobah did seem to be quite attacking, but unfortunately he's picked up a long-term injury. So I'd say Loftus-Cheek. Maybe you could take a punt on Delph for a little bit, but the rotation at Man City is crazy. So I'd go Loftus-Cheek. But clearly Sermon's the one quietly getting points. And does he start every game? He's only missed one game the entire season so far. So Sermon might be a nice little option just to keep on the bench. Does he get big points totals? Look, apart from these 2 games, 10 points and 9 points, he just quietly gets 2s and 3s, which you're not going to be too bothered about if that's on your bench. But if he comes in, it's 2 or 3 extra points, and you might get lucky with a better scoreline. The thing is, when you look at a 5th midfielder, someone you want on your bench, do you want someone scoring lots of points? That's the thing you've got to consider. You want a safe option that will always play to always come in and then could potentially, luckily, get you some points that game week. But sometimes having someone really good at 4.5 million is a pain because you just see points on your bench. Who should I captain this game week? Eriksen or Salah? I like Spurs against Palace. But West Ham's defence is also awful. I would say Salah's more likely to get points than Eriksen. That's not based on any facts. That's just my gut instinct right now. If we actually look at both of them, though, because they're both on my side, so it's easy to have a look. We got 3 10-point hauls for Salah, and then another 2 games where he scored over 5 points. So that's like 5 games where he's done really well. Then Eriksen, we have 2 over 10-point hauls, but then you've got 12, 7, 8, 9, 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, it's equal. If we look at how those teams are defensively, if we go to team stats, although I think Palace probably have improved a little bit defensively compared to how they started. We got goals conceded. Palace have conceded 8. West Ham have conceded 6. That's the last 4 game weeks, though. Just for the record, they have conceded more overall, but in the last 4 game weeks, Palace have conceded more than West Ham. In the last 4 game weeks, West Ham have actually conceded more shots, though, than Palace by 30 to 27. Sorry, that was inside the box. So to correct myself, West Ham have conceded 53 shots to Palace's 46. I personally think Liverpool might run riot over West Ham, whereas I think Palace may put in a better defensive display. So I might go with Salah over Eriksen. Rad Robbie Roller is getting Hazard and Pope in exchange for Sane and Forster. Pope in for Forster seems like a good shout. If you're worried about rotation, then Hazard for Sane is a decent shout as well. Do I think Aguero will start? I have a feeling Aguero will start, Chaos. That's my guess. Not nailed on, of course. But I've lost my place in the chat again. There we go. Yeah, I think Aguero will start. I think he was subbed off so he'd get some rest. Then again, he might have been subbed off just because they felt like it. And maybe Jesus will play a good part of the game and then Aguero will be brought on. I really don't know with Pep. Matsby Peterson, Kane is getting in, but what do you think is best? Vardy, Morata, Kane, or Abraham, Kane, Aguero? I feel like Vardy might be one of those players that completely goes under the radar and keeps scoring points, but very quietly. I personally prefer Abraham, Kane and Aguero right now, though. Matsby Peterson, I think if you've got Kolasinac, it might be worth keeping him. Because I think he could quietly be like the new Alonso. Letesso is in the chat. Thank you very much for joining the chat, my friend. Has Ali been discussed yet? As far as Dele Alli goes, I still feel like Christian Eriksen is the better bet for now. Because a couple of games Ali's been played deeper. I think Eriksen has the better underlying stats. But that could, of course, change. But right now, I just feel like Eriksen's a better shout. Although Ali, of course, did have a blinder just today against Real Madrid. Real DMC doesn't want Kane in his team. That's fine. If you've got someone like Aguero, you don't necessarily need Kane. I just feel like you need one of Kane or Aguero. And I feel like Kane's the more nailed on. Do I think Coutinho will be back this week? I think he might be. From what I've heard, he is training Andrew. So he might be, which will hurt Daniel Sturridge, which means I might not bring him in. I just sold Ali for silver and he puts out a performance like that. Sorry, Tesso, that is really bad. That is really bad. If you are saying, is it Mark Sutton, or is it, I think it's Southern, is his name. I did get in contact with Mark Southern, yes. He is the one that helped with the situation that I made that video about. So yeah, if that's who you mean, yes, that's who I contacted. Chaos Lol, you're right, all his videos are privated, yep. Which is, my growth has started going up again because I'm not competing with 20 videos. AM Saturday, I have Silva, Mickey, Fabregas, Carroll, Decore. Who should I get rid of? For me, I think Decore and Carroll are the ones you can change, and maybe Mickey. I like Fabregas and Silva. Mickey you could possibly change. Decore I feel like you can change as well. I don't think he's going to keep getting the kind of points he's been getting. Siraj thinks you should get Mahrez and Salah for those two. I think Salah's a great shout, even though he missed that penalty. Yeah, I definitely think he should be looking at that. Salah is a great player, getting lots of chances. He has to put them away. Then again, I've been saying that about what's his name, Hosselu, for so long. I've stopped saying it now, if you've noticed. Is it possible that Kane will not start? Against Palace, it is possible. They might rest him. But seriously, that Spurs side look a lot more toothless without Kane. And I think Kane's the type of player that wants to play as many games as possible right now at this point in his career. AM Saturday, hoping Spurs will play a 4-4-2. I doubt they will under Pochettino. But I do feel like it's a bit harsh on Llorente. But it's his choice. He went to Spurs knowing Kane was there. So maybe he thought Kane was going to leave. I personally think Kane may start, and then if he scores a couple of goals, he'll get subbed off. That is what I'd assume would be done. But I really think that's... Whilst I'm not saying like Pep that Spurs is a Harry Kane team, I'm definitely of the opinion that that team is a lot better with Harry Kane. Because not only is Harry Kane really on form and a really good player at the moment, but also because teams have to worry about Kane, that allows players like Eriksen and Dele Alli to play. Whereas I feel like Man United could nullify the effect of Kane and Eriksen and Dele Alli because they didn't have to worry about Kane. But if you have three really good players to worry about, it's more difficult to mark 3 players out of a game than 2, which is just logic. Real DMC posting his team: Foster, Asby, Lascelles, Davies, Mahrez, Eriksen, Gross, Silva, Morata, Vardy, Jesus. Like the front 3, although Jesus would be the main striker you've got there, I feel. And he's a bit of a rotation risk. David Knight, it's all about the Fanta Fruit twist. Like a bit of Fanta Fruit twist myself. I am a fan of the classic Fanta though. Do like myself some Fanta. Especially if I've got a hangover. By the way guys, if you want to support the stream, just a quick little advert snuck in there. You can sponsor the stream, and once I get enough sponsors I can put special emojis for the people that sponsor the stream, or you can do a super chat just to support the stream as well as a one-off thing. So if you do want to support the stream and help it grow, that's a great way to do it. I could maybe even put the money towards a new layout, because I know some people would prefer the Fantasy Premier League website screen to be bigger. Siraj has got to go. It's 1:30. Siraj, thank you so much for your commitment, because let's be honest, you're staying up very late to watch me, especially this week when I've been starting at 10. So it's much appreciated, my friend. Thank you for all the support and for how often you've been in the chat. It's much appreciated. Stream will stay on. Thank you again. Keeps the stream on just so I keep getting that one extra view. Another hoops. Are you thinking of making a transfer this week or saving? Knowing me, I'll probably get all the way to the end of the week now that Kane could start and not make a transfer and then try and make 2 transfers. But who knows? Daniel Ring sells off as well. Catch you later, Daniel. Thank you for joining the stream. We've got Chaos. I'm going to have Kane and Salah next week, more than likely. Do you think I should go with obvious captain choice of Kane, or do you think I should go with Salah against West Ham? If Kane is starting, I'm going Kane. I just feel like Kane is a more certain player than Salah. Salah sometimes finishing looks absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. So I would go Kane personally. But Salah definitely has the potential to be explosive. TP is back in the chat. How you doing, TP? Of course, we get lots of FPL points, but he's made so many mistakes recently. To be honest, I think all the Southampton players are dodgy with all these difficult fixtures and rotation from Pellegrino. I really thought Southampton players would be a good option, and then I saw that the attacking players weren't scoring, so I thought defence would be a good option. Now I'm not even sure you need a Southampton player, which is surprising because Southampton used to be a good avenue for some cheaper points. Alright, we've got a message held for review. So let me just make that viewable. I've scrolled up too far. Or have I already clicked it? I don't know. But basically, Jerome Kahani, if it hasn't shown up, thanks so much for in-depth looked at my captain choice. No problem, mate. You're sticking with Davis. I'm a glutton for punishment, Robert Moore. I probably will just because it's Palace. And I think against Palace he can roam forward a lot more and might get some decent points. The way City played tonight, I think Arsenal might get hammered. I think it's either going to be Arsenal get hammered or Arsenal show up and do rather well. Kane to play 60 minutes and come off, that's definitely possible, Michael. And thanks for joining the stream, of course, Michael. Good to see you back in the stream. Should I get Pope in for Forster? Great stream, keep it up. Dom Stimpfrig. I think Nick Pope should definitely be a good option. AM Saturday stepping out. But thank you again, AM Saturday. You've been another regular member of the stream, so it's always great to see you in the stream. And leaving a bird for the flock. Thank you very much for that, my friend. TP Football Nurse, I now follow you on Twitter. It's annoying because as you don't follow me, I can't message you, but I like these regular streams. I'm trying as hard as I possibly can to be a regular streamer. And apologies if I don't follow you, but basically the issue with Twitter is every now and again I get bombarded on Twitter with requests of help with teams and so on and so forth. And sometimes I don't have time to actually go in and answer them. And I also can't really answer them in the amount of characters that Twitter give. And if I follow too many people, then I'm going to get bombarded with messages. So it's not that I don't want to help you guys, but I feel like this is the best avenue for me to do it. If you leave a comment on a video, I will answer the comment in a stream. And then also, if you join the live stream, I answer your questions on the live stream. That is, I found, is the best way for me to do it. Twitter, I will try and get more active on there, but it will be more updates on stories and so on as I get them. And sometimes I just don't have the time because I'm at work. I really wish I could be a bigger part of the Twitter community because FPL is very big on Twitter, but unfortunately I can't, which is annoying. But we got a new member of the flock. Thank you so much, Robert Moore. Just joined the flock right now. It's much appreciated, my friend. Always good to get a new subscriber while we're streaming, so big up Robert Moore. Okay, Chaos clicked show before me. That would explain it. You literally clicked it just before I was about to. TP Football Analysis, Southampton are rotating centre-backs. They only nailed on midfielders are Lamina, but he isn't a good choice for FPL, which is true. Long and Gabbiadini are playing regularly, and Austin isn't having game time. That's the problem. So there doesn't seem to be any option in that Southampton side. And then Prakash Raut, what do you think about the double up from the Man U defence? It's a good idea because Man United look like they're going to be defensively solid for most of the season. I know I had my doubts at times, like the Stoke game, but if you can get like two cheapish Man United defenders, then yeah, definitely go for it. Because there doesn't seem to be a Man United defender that's going to get a lot of points attacking-wise, apart from maybe Valencia, if he improves his corners, crosses, and he does have a decent right foot on him when he takes a shot. But yeah, I can see it being decent, especially if they have easy fixtures. Mats B. Peterson, is there a J&O league? Let me get that on screen for you. So there you go, it's 8-12-4-4-1-1. And we'll just quickly paste it in the chat for you. And Chaos, yeah, you're too fast for me, but that's why I hired you as the admin. Trigger finger, mate. What do you think of Sturridge this week? I think Sturridge is a risk because I think Coutinho has a chance of playing. And I think if Coutinho plays, I feel like Sturridge is the one that could get dropped. Let's have a quick cheeky look at Coutinho. 50% chance of playing, so I wouldn't risk it. I was thinking of taking that risk myself, but I probably won't risk it now, purely because I feel like Coutinho could hamper Sturridge's start time. But if Sturridge is starting, if I hear anything about Sturridge starting, he does look like he's returning to the Sturridge of, is it 3 or 4 years ago, if anyone remembers that Sturridge, when Suarez was still at Liverpool as well. TV Football Analysis, I won't get any Everton players in until they've got a set manager and their performances start to improve. I think buying Wayne Rooney and Sigurdsson was a mistake, unless they figure out a formation that suits them both. So I wouldn't bring in any Everton players just yet. Dom Stimpfrig needs help with his team for transfers. His team is Forster, Jones, Daniel, Stones, David Silva, Richarlison, Salah, Hazard, Kane, Jesus, and Geoff. So I personally, if I was transferring anyone out, maybe Daniels, because Bournemouth aren't that good defensively. Forster I would transfer out for a cheaper keeper. But I like Jesus, I like Kane, I like Hazard, I like Salah, I like Richarlison, I like David Silva. So there's not too much wrong with your side. Michael Foley, Otamendi, I've brought in Otamendi, so I'm really hoping for more of that good form, Michael Foley. Definitely hoping for more of that form. What would be my transfer this week? After I finish streaming, I may not do the football recap because this stream is going so well, so I'm carrying it on a bit. I've already recorded this morning my team episode. I will be rendering and uploading that, and I'm going to upload it straight away. So if you're still up in about, what's the time right now? In about an hour, my team should be going live. I'm just trying out, seeing if uploading and going live with the video straight away instead of waiting till tomorrow, till a more reasonable time. I'm just having a look to see what kind of effect that has on my video. So I'm probably going to risk tonight putting my video up at about 12 at night, which is strange for me. I don't usually do it, but I've read rumours that sometimes scheduling or not putting your video live can hurt you a little bit. So I might try and put it up straight away, and then that way people can watch it on their way to work as well. But I go through my transfers in potential this week in that video. TP Football Analysis, I'll be honest, I think Man United might struggle attacking wise over the next few weeks. I'm not a fan of Lukaku, and Pogba I think would be my choice. They just look so much better when they had Pogba, although they were playing easier opponents when they had Pogba as well. Michael Foley, Ali or Sterling? Well, Ali's more nailed on, so I'd potentially go Ali, because I feel like Sterling may play second fiddle to Sane. But I've been wrong with Sterling before. I said A couple of weeks ago I said Sterling looks nailed on, and then he hasn't been since. So I wouldn't necessarily listen to me as far as guessing what Pep Guardiola is going to do. Dom Stimfrig, best £5.5 million striker. You just for the record, guys, you guys are keeping me away from KFC. Just for the record, I still haven't eaten my KFC. That's how much I love you guys. I'm staying on streaming instead of eating my KFC. Not had dinner yet, but that's the lengths I'm going to go to for you guys. Anyway, stop bragging about how I'm going out without food. You guys know I love my food already anyway. Okay, so we are looking at 5.5 million midfield forwards. And I'm going off the last 4 game weeks because that kind of gives you a good idea of form. And there's one person that stands out as far as goals scored, and that is Mohamed Diouf from Stoke. 3 goals in the last 4 game weeks. As far as attempts go, he's only third. Niasse and Calvert-Lewin both have had more chances. But if we go to big chances, Diouf has had as many as Niasse, or however you say it. So, standing head and shoulders above the rest, because even shots on target, Diouf is top with Calvert-Lewin. And if we go to minutes per chance, for players that have scored in 4 games and played the right amount of minutes, Calvert-Lewin's the only player beating Mohamed Diouf, but Mohamed Diouf's goal conversion is a lot better. So I would say Mohamed Diouf right now, off of the stats over the last 4 game weeks, seems to be the in-form £5.5 million striker option. Any good replacements for Mkhitaryan? So we're looking at a midfielder. And what is his price range? Mkhitaryan, is it 8.5 million? So Mkhitaryan 8.2 now. So we're looking for someone around the 8 million mark. So in the last 4 game weeks, and I like using the last 4 game weeks because it gives more of an idea of form and not so boosted over like a good start to the season. We have at 6.9 million Fabregas creating 11 chances. We have Grosh at 5.8 creating 11 chances. 8.6 Sane, if you can afford him. Raheem Sterling at 8.2. His minutes is pretty low though compared to Sane's. And as far as big chances created, Raheem Sterling has created the most big chances in the last 4 game weeks despite his game time. Mahrez has created 3 big chances. He's not necessarily created a lot of chances, but the chances he has created are quite big chances. So, off of chances created, you're looking at the likes of Sterling, Sane, Grosh, Fabregas, and then goal threat wise for midfielders in the same price bracket. I know Grosh is a lot lower, but I just thought I'd mention him because he's so high up there. Attempts on goal. Actually, let's have a look at goals. Wow, a lot of cheap midfielders high up on goals. Have I set? I have as well. When did I do that? Alright, there we go. For some reason I had the filter on. So, attempts-wise, Richarlison is massively up there. He's had more attempts on goal than Sanchez and more attempts inside the box than Sanchez. Around that price bracket, Silva, 13 attempts on goal, 8 inside the box. Ramsey, 7 million, 12 attempts on goal. We're looking for around that 8 million mark. Fabregas has had 10 attempts on goal. Sane has had 10 attempts on goal. Zaha has had 10 attempts on goal. Even Antonio is above him, 7 attempts on goal at 7.5. So there's plenty of people who've had more attempts on goal than Mkhitaryan. From inside, Richarlison and Ramsey are the leaders of the pack. Big chances wise, Richarlison's had the most big chances. Ramsey's had 4 big chances. David Silva and Sane both have had 4 big chances. And on target, Ramsey and Salah have had the most shots on target at 7 each in the last 4 game weeks. So those are the players I'd look to replace Mickey with. Richarlison, thoughts? Tempted to take him out for Grosh, or however you spell it. He's so consistent. Grosh is consistent, but I wouldn't take out Richarlison because I feel like Richarlison can have a bigger impact on your point total in a game week. Grosh is good though. I'm almost tempted to just have the cheapest third striker possible and go with 5-man midfield, the way this season's going so far. I'm still keeping faith with Richarlison though. Chaos, you know a man needs his KFC. The fact that I'm not eating it is surprising me even. Must-have player this week. I would say Harry Kane now he's back and so many people are bringing him in. If you don't have Harry Kane and Harry Kane does really well, you're going to be hurt. If you do have Harry Kane and he doesn't do well, so many other players have him that it probably won't affect you as much as if he did well. Another hoops, nothing could keep me away from KFC. I thought that until now. Oh, I'm getting a correction on pronunciation, which isn't surprising, of course. Dom Stimp Fig is just telling me how to pronounce his name. Hopefully I said it right that time. Sagbab Gawad, Sane or David Silva. Now, last time this was asked, it was David Silva or Raheem Sterling, and I said Sterling will have a bigger impact over the next couple of game weeks, but David Silva is more nailed on, so is a safer option long term. But then I went with Raheem Sterling as my overall pick. This time, I still feel like I need to go Sane, because I think if Sane plays, he's going to have a bigger impact on your game week. But just know for a fact that I kind of got it wrong. Although Sterling, I think, still outscored David Silva, despite less game time. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure I would go with Sane. TP Football Analysis, who's ranked higher, you or FPL Tips? Probably FPL Tips, although last season I was beating him for a lot of it and then he jumped over me. But I've not had a great start this season. So he should be in. I'm sure he was in one of my leagues last year. But maybe I didn't recreate it this year. Okay, last year I had like a YouTubers league. But yeah, I don't know who's higher then. Because I don't think I'm in a league with him, so it's not easy for me to find out. So I don't know, but I'm assuming he will be. Because I've not had a good start to the season. But sometimes it's about how you finish. Wow, Ramsey Sinclair. I had City to win 2-3. Would have won 150. I feel so sorry for you for that last goal, mate. It is sickening. I personally bet on an app, and if I get anywhere near to winning and I see a massive spike in my return, I cash out early just because I hate losing that amount. I'd rather win, say, 70 quid out of 150 than not win at all. Michael Foley, I've answered that. I would not put in an Everton player. Mr. Remix has subbed, but apparently it hasn't come up on my thing, which is annoying. That is a bit disappointing. I apologise for that, but thank you so much, Mr. Remix, for subbing. It's much appreciated. Welcome to the flock. That's what we call ourselves here. I forgot why we call ourselves the flock. I think because... I can't even remember. I think it was something to do with my surname. Because it's related to golf. And then you've got Birdie. And then Birdie into flock. Yeah. Okay, TB Football Analysis. I think you're right, man. City midfielder. Fabregas or Richarlison would be a good idea. Pure, the new Leicester manager, loves rotation, so I'm interested to see how Leicester do. Exactly. New managers at a club, I think, are always risky. Michael Foley, not gone in KFC in Ireland. We have Supermax. That's what I had for dinner. What's a Supermac? I've never heard of a Supermac. I need to go to Ireland, by the way, at some point in my life. FPL Tips is 432k. I might be slightly better than him then. You watch me be completely wrong. No, I'm 461. Damn it. No. Alright, it's close though. It would be nice to beat him one season. Since Kane got unflagged, his price rise at 0%. Have half an hour, it was 7.7. Now it's 13.1. I think he'll go up then, mister. I am Negan. Oh, God, Negan's in the chat. Negan is one of my favourite characters in The Walking Dead, but I'd be scared of him if I met him in real life. Should I upgrade Sterling to Sane or keep him? I would go to Sane. My gut feeling is Sane is going to start more than Sterling. But Sterling's not a bad player. Is Hazard on my radar? Not yet. Still a way to go. He might be soon. He has played really well recently, so I'd say he probably is on my radar. I'm still keeping an eye out. Yeah, in fact, Chaos, you bring up something I'd like to discuss anyway. Basically, the way YouTube works is your video, especially in Fantasy Premier League, has a certain amount of time to have an impact. FPL Tips did his game review video before the Burnley game, and he had Ben, me, and Elliot. And to be honest, the reason you'll notice a lot of us have started doing videos earlier than we did before is because, and this is nothing against him, he realised something that the rest of us didn't realise. Zane Muller, who is someone I consider a YouTube friend, he started doing a review of players on a Sunday, and he grew in subscribers so quickly, and at a time in the season when growth isn't usually that big, because he would have the first video out for the game week. So what you've noticed now is a trend of us YouTubers releasing videos earlier, because we're trying to beat each other to releasing a video. And the subscription growth for me, if I release a video on Sunday for the week, is so much more than if I release it on a Tuesday. Monday can sometimes compare. So that is why I feel like a lot of us are getting earlier with our videos. Now, I personally won't do my team video before every player of mine has played, but that is what we learned for. What we learned will go out as soon as I can actually do it. Some weeks I won't be able to do it until Tuesday. Some weeks I won't have watched the games until Wednesday. So that is my chance to get a video out early. I personally wouldn't do a team review until all of my team have played, because that doesn't make sense to me. But I have my own series which I have, so I can do a video early. And it's just, whilst we're all friends and it's nothing bitter, we are in competition to try and get attention and get subscribers, which is why a lot of us stood up against this other channel that has now not got any videos out live. So that is why a lot of us release videos earlier than we used to. And with Fantasy Premier League, we literally only have between game weeks to get a video out. So we only have a 5-day period sometimes. And there'll be periods during Christmas and during the end of the season where we have 2 days to get a video out. That's it. So I think you'll see a trend of us getting earlier and earlier. As far as The Walking Dead, I've not watched the latest episode yet, unfortunately, because I've been too busy either streaming with you guys or doing stuff in my own life. Usually we would watch it Monday night, but I streamed Monday. Sorry, excuse me. I streamed Monday night, so I haven't watched it yet. Ramsey Sinclair, I'm sorry your battery ran out. Dom Stimp Fig. Yeah, I'm already butchering it. Nick Pope or me, I would say Ben Mee in the long term, purely because Ben Mee isn't going to be going anywhere. I'm pretty sure he's nailed on in that defence. As soon as Tom Heaton's back, who knows? I'm pretty sure Tom Heaton will go back into the lineup. So that's what I would say. I would say Ben Mee over Pope, because Ben Mee seems to get bonus points quite well as well. And Thomas McCarthy agrees with me. Rahul Game, I believe you don't pronounce the H in that. Why do you still have Davis in defence considering Daniels of Bournemouth? FDR for 2 for game. My issue with Bournemouth is their defence doesn't seem likely to keep clean sheets. I'm also keeping Davis purely for the Palace game. Then he'll probably be transferred out the next game week. That is my plan. I'm hoping he plays against Palace, and I think against Palace he could do really well. Oh man, you're making me need to go and watch Walking Dead. Alright guys, so unless someone has some urgent question, we are getting to that time where I'd like to try and end the stream, purely because I don't want it to be too long for people that try and watch it back. So guys, thank you so much for tuning into the stream as always. If you could leave a like on the video when it goes live, just come back and hit the like button. You don't have to watch the whole thing again, just it helps the video out. Although if you want to watch the whole thing again, that of course helps me out as well. If you want to support the channel in any way, there are various links in the description down below. You have Patreon, you have my merchandise store that's coming up to Christmas. Maybe tell your missus that you want a JNO t-shirt of some sort. Sorry, getting put off by the chat. Also, you can sponsor the streams and super chat in the streams. If the streams is the thing you like the most about my channel, there's ways you can just simply show your support for the stream, so feel free to do that if you want. As far as my next stream, there probably won't be a stream until after Game Week 11, purely because Thursday I have a late shift, I don't finish till 11, and then Friday I'm at a wedding, and Saturday, Sunday I generally don't do streams. I'm also got work over the weekend, so I don't know how popular it'd be if I did a stream during the 3 o'clock games on a Saturday when I can. If that's something you would like to see, let me know in the comments of this video when it goes public. Quickly, before I go, Ramsey Sinclair, I'm looking at doing a free hit this week because of the Super Sunday fixtures. What do you think? I personally wouldn't, but that's because I have a plan for my free hit. My free hit will be used in the blank game week. So, completely up to you, Ramsey, but I'm using my free hit in a blank game week. But someone last week used free hit and it really worked out for them. So, if you think it will work out for you, go for it. But I have a plan for my free hit. Anyway, that is everything for today. I seem to have a wedding every week. Do I? I mean, my wife has a lot of friends, so, and they seem to all be getting married. But yes, I did have a wedding a week or two ago, didn't I? And anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I've been JNO. Is it an international break next week? Wow, watch how I get put off so easily. If it's the international break, I can still do streams. We have a lot more time to discuss things, don't we? So I'll probably still do streams during the international break. Anyway, I've been JNO. This has been FPL Today. And remember, it's all about the game. KFC time.